Have you ever thought about what it takes to live a long, healthy life? I'm talking about not just reaching 90 but thriving well into your later years. Well, my friends, today I want to talk to you about the 4 types of illnesses you absolutely must avoid if you want to give yourself the best chance at a long, fulfilling life. These are the conditions that can sneak up on you or slowly chip away at your health if you're not careful. But don't worry, there are ways to reduce your risk, and I'll share them with you as we go along. Stick around until the end, because these insights are not just about avoiding illness but about living vibrantly and maintaining your independence for as long as possible. You'll want to hear every point, as each one could make a real difference in how you approach your health. Before we begin, if this sounds like the kind of content you're interested in, make sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and turn on notifications so you never miss our stories and tips on living fully at every age. If you like this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. The first illness we need to talk about is cardiovascular disease. It's one of the leading causes of death worldwide, and as we age, it becomes even more critical to pay attention to our heart health. Many of us have lived long lives filled with responsibilities, stresses, and habits, both good and bad, that have accumulated over time. The heart is a resilient organ, but it's not invincible. The choices we make today can have a profound effect on whether it stays strong into our 80s and beyond. Let me tell you a story about my neighbor Jim. Jim was a jovial man, always quick with a joke and a handshake. He lived with the philosophy that retirement was a time to indulge. He'd say, "I've earned the right to relax," as he poured extra salt on his fries or cracked open a soda during the neighborhood potluck. Exercise wasn't on his agenda, and his idea of relaxation was more about sitting in his recliner than taking a walk. One day, Jim didn't show up to our usual coffee chat, and the news soon came out that he'd suffered a minor heart attack. Luckily, it wasn't fatal, but it was a wake-up call for him. When I visited him in the hospital, he looked shaken. "I thought I was doing fine," he said. "But the doctor says my heart's been under pressure for years, and I didn't even know it." That conversation stuck with me, and what happened next was even more remarkable. Jim decided to make changes, not dramatic overnight transformations, but small, sustainable steps that added up over time. He swapped his salty snacks for unsalted nuts and fresh fruits. He started taking short walks around the block, gradually increasing his distance. Most importantly, he began managing his stress through meditation and deep breathing exercises. Today, Jim is in his 80s and still mowing his lawn, and he's a shining example of how small changes can lead to big improvements in heart health. Jim's story isn't unique. Cardiovascular disease often creeps up on us because it's linked to a combination of factors that can build over time: high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and unhealthy lifestyle habits like poor diet, smoking, or lack of physical activity. The good news is that we have the power to address many of these factors. It's never too late to start making changes that protect your heart. One key to heart health is watching your diet. Cutting back on sodium can significantly reduce your risk of high blood pressure, a major contributor to heart disease. Focus on eating fresh, whole foods, fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. One simple tip that has worked for me is replacing processed snacks with fresh fruit or nuts. A bowl of berries or a handful of almonds not only tastes great but also nourishes your body. Another crucial step is regular physical activity. This doesn't mean you need to run marathons or spend hours at the gym. Even light to moderate exercise like walking, gardening, or dancing can strengthen your heart and improve circulation. I've made it a habit to take a brisk walk every morning. It's not just good for my heart, it also clears my mind and sets a positive tone for the day. Stress management is another critical factor. Chronic stress can elevate blood pressure and put a strain on your heart. Jim found that meditation and deep breathing exercises helped him stay calm, and I've found the same to be true. Spending time in nature or engaging in hobbies you love can also be wonderful ways to unwind. Finally, regular checkups with your doctor are essential. Many of the warning signs of heart disease, like high blood pressure or cholesterol, don't have obvious symptoms. Getting routine screenings can catch potential issues early, allowing you to take action before they become serious problems. The takeaway here is that cardiovascular disease doesn't have to define your future. By making small, thoughtful changes to your diet, activity level, and stress management, you can significantly lower your risk. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with 1 or 2 manageable adjustments and build from there. Every step you take toward a healthier heart is a step toward living a longer, more vibrant life. Next, we've got to discuss respiratory illnesses, which can greatly impact your quality of life as you age. Your lungs work hard every second of every day, and when they start to fail, it's like losing the ability to fully participate in life. I learned this lesson firsthand through my good friend Carol, who became a stark example of why taking care of your lungs is so important. Carol was a vibrant, energetic woman in her youth, always on the go and full of life. But like many from our generation, she smoked cigarettes in her younger years. At the time, smoking was seen as glamorous or even sophisticated. Nobody talked much about the long-term consequences. Carol eventually quit in her 50s, but by then, the damage was done. In her 60s, she was diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, or COPD. Watching Carol struggle with COPD was heartbreaking. Tasks that most of us take for granted, climbing a flight of stairs, walking to the mailbox, or even having a conversation, became exhausting and sometimes impossible for her. I remember one particular instance when we were at a family picnic. Carol wanted to join the kids in a light game of frisbee, something she used to love doing. But after just a few throws, she had to sit down, wheezing and clutching her chest. She looked at me and said, "If I'd taken better care of my lungs earlier, life now would be so much easier." That moment stuck with me. It was a wake-up call about how important our lung health is, even if we don't notice the damage until later in life. Carol's journey taught me that respiratory illnesses don't just affect your physical health. They limit your ability to enjoy life's simplest pleasures. One of the biggest culprits in respiratory illnesses is smoking, as was the case with Carol. Quitting smoking, or better yet, never starting, is one of the best things you can do for your lungs. Even if you quit later in life, your lungs can begin to heal, and you reduce your risk of further damage. Carol often said quitting smoking was the hardest thing she ever did, but also the most worthwhile. She may not have reversed the damage entirely, but it slowed the progression of her COPD and gave her a better quality of life. Beyond smoking, staying physically active is key to maintaining strong lungs. Activities like walking, swimming, or even light stretching exercises help improve your lung capacity and keep oxygen flowing efficiently through your body. I've started incorporating simple breathing exercises into my daily routine, deep breaths in through the nose, holding for a moment, and then exhaling slowly. It's a small thing, but it helps keep my lungs active and strong. Your environment also plays a big role in respiratory health. Air quality matters, especially as we age. Avoid exposure to pollutants, whether it's secondhand smoke, industrial fumes, or even household irritants like harsh cleaning chemicals. One of the best changes I made was switching to natural cleaning products and ensuring proper ventilation in my home. Even keeping plants around can help improve indoor air quality. Seasonal illnesses like the flu or pneumonia can also pose serious risks to your respiratory health. That's why I make sure to get my flu shot every year and stay up to date on recommended vaccines like the pneumonia vaccine. Preventing respiratory infections is much easier than recovering from them, especially as our bodies take longer to heal in later years. Carol's story is a reminder that lung health is often something we don't think about until it's too late. But the good news is that it's never too late to start caring for your lungs. Whether it's quitting smoking, staying active, improving your environment, or protecting yourself against infections, every step you take makes a difference. Your lungs are your lifeline. Treat them well, and they'll carry you through the later stages of life with strength and vitality. Take it from Carol. Don't wait for a diagnosis to remind you of their importance. Start today, and you'll thank yourself tomorrow and for years to come. Now, let's talk about diabetes, particularly type 2 diabetes, a condition that can quietly develop over years before showing noticeable symptoms. It's often called a silent disease because you may feel fine even as it begins to cause serious damage to your body. I've seen this firsthand through my Uncle Paul, whose story is both a cautionary tale and an inspiring example of how lifestyle changes can turn things around. Uncle Paul had always been a larger-than-life character, someone who loved a hearty meal and never turned down dessert. His favorite saying at family gatherings was, "Life's too short to skip the pie." For years, his love of sweets and oversized portions seemed harmless. But as he reached his late 60s, he started experiencing unexplained fatigue, frequent urination, and blurry vision. At first, he chalked it up to just getting older, but eventually, a visit to the doctor revealed he had type 2 diabetes. By the time he was diagnosed, the disease had already begun affecting his body. His eyesight was deteriorating due to diabetic retinopathy, and he started having issues with circulation in his feet, a common complication. The reality of his condition hit hard. He realized that his lifestyle choices had caught up with him, and if he didn't make changes, he would face even more severe consequences, like losing his vision or developing foot ulcers that might lead to amputation. The good news is that Uncle Paul took the diagnosis as a wake-up call. With guidance from his doctor and support from his family, he made significant changes to his lifestyle. One of the first things he tackled was his diet. He shifted from large, carb-heavy meals to smaller portions filled with vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains. He also cut back on sugary treats, limiting desserts to special occasions. I remember him saying, "I thought I'd miss the sweets, but honestly, I feel so much better without them." Exercise became another cornerstone of his new routine. Uncle Paul started taking daily walks, beginning with just a few minutes at a time. Gradually, he built up his stamina and now walks for about 30 minutes every morning. It's not just about burning calories. Walking helps regulate blood sugar levels and improves circulation, which is crucial for people with diabetes. His walks have become a favorite part of his day, often joined by his grandchildren, who keep him laughing and moving. In addition to diet and exercise, Uncle Paul learned the importance of regular monitoring. He keeps track of his blood sugar levels and attends all his checkups, ensuring that any potential issues are caught early. Managing diabetes isn't just about the big changes. It's also about staying vigilant and consistent. Today, Uncle Paul is in his late 70s, and while he still lives with diabetes, it no longer controls his life. He's enjoying his retirement, playing with his grandchildren, and even gardening, a hobby he picked up as part of his healthier lifestyle. His story is a powerful reminder that even if you've been diagnosed with diabetes, it's possible to regain control and live a full, active life. For those who haven't been diagnosed, prevention is key. Type 2 diabetes is closely linked to weight, diet, and physical activity, so maintaining a healthy weight is one of the most effective ways to lower your risk. Be mindful of your portion sizes and focus on a balanced diet rich in vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Limit sugary and processed foods, which can spike blood sugar levels and contribute to weight gain. Staying active is equally important. You don't need to become a marathon runner. Simple activities like walking, gardening, or even gentle yoga can make a huge difference. Exercise helps your body use insulin more efficiently, which can prevent or delay the onset of diabetes. Finally, keep an eye on your numbers. Regular checkups with your doctor can catch signs of diabetes early, such as elevated blood sugar or A1C levels. The earlier you catch it, the easier it is to manage or even reverse with lifestyle changes. Uncle Paul's journey is proof that diabetes doesn't have to define your life. Whether you're working to prevent it or manage it, the choices you make today can have a profound impact on your future. It's all about small, consistent steps, because when it comes to your health, those steps add up to a lifetime of benefits. Finally, let's address cognitive illnesses like dementia and Alzheimer's disease. These conditions are among the most heartbreaking, not just for those who suffer, but for their families as well. Cognitive decline steals not only memories but also independence, changing relationships and life in profound ways. I've witnessed this firsthand through my dear friend Mary, whose story is a poignant reminder of why taking steps to protect our brain health is so important. Mary was the kind of person everyone admired, sharp, witty, and always the first to solve the Sunday crossword puzzle. She had an incredible memory for birthdays, anniversaries, and even small details about conversations we had years ago. But in her mid-70s, things began to change. At first, it was subtle, forgetting where she left her keys or missing an appointment. We all laughed it off as senior moments. But over time, the gaps in her memory grew larger. She began forgetting significant events, like her granddaughter's school play or even the names of familiar friends. Her family rallied around her, providing support and encouragement, but it was a difficult journey for everyone involved. Mary often felt frustrated and embarrassed, and her family struggled to balance their love and patience with the emotional toll of seeing her change. Watching this unfold left a deep impression on me. It made me realize that while we can't control everything about aging, there are steps we can take to reduce our risk of cognitive illnesses and give our brains the best chance to stay healthy and sharp. One of the most important lessons I learned from Mary's experience is the value of staying mentally active. The brain is like a muscle. It needs regular exercise to stay strong. Mary was an avid reader and a fan of puzzles, and she maintained these habits for as long as she could. Research has shown that activities like reading, solving puzzles, and learning new skills can create new neural connections, which may help delay the onset of cognitive decline. Since learning this, I've made it a point to keep my brain engaged. I try to tackle a crossword puzzle every day, and I recently started learning basic Spanish, a challenge that has been both fun and stimulating. Physical activity also plays a significant role in brain health. Regular exercise improves blood flow to the brain and reduces the risk of conditions that can contribute to cognitive decline, like high blood pressure and diabetes. I've found that even a daily 20-minute walk makes a noticeable difference, not just in how I feel physically but also in how clear and focused my mind is. For those who enjoy variety, activities like swimming, Tai Chi, or even dancing are excellent ways to keep both the body and brain engaged. Diet is another critical factor. What we eat has a profound impact on brain health. A diet rich in vegetables, fruits, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats like those found in nuts and fish is often recommended. This is sometimes called the Mediterranean diet, and studies have linked it to a lower risk of cognitive decline. I've also started incorporating foods like blueberries, which are known as brain food, into my diet as a tasty way to support my mental health. Social engagement is just as important as physical and mental activity. Staying connected with friends and family provides emotional support and keeps your mind active. Whether it's playing cards with neighbors, attending a book club, or simply chatting with a friend over coffee, these interactions help maintain cognitive function by stimulating your brain in ways that solitary activities might not. It's also crucial to prioritize good sleep. Sleep is when your brain processes information and clears out toxins that can accumulate during the day. Poor sleep has been linked to an increased risk of dementia, so establishing a regular sleep schedule and creating a calming bedtime routine can go a long way in protecting your cognitive health. Finally, staying proactive about your health is essential. Regular checkups with your doctor can catch warning signs early, and addressing conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, or depression can help lower your risk of cognitive decline. If you notice memory lapses or other concerning changes in yourself or a loved one, don't hesitate to seek medical advice. Early intervention can make a significant difference in managing symptoms and planning for the future. Mary's journey taught me that while cognitive illnesses like dementia and Alzheimer's are deeply challenging, there are proactive steps we can take to reduce our risk and preserve our brain health for as long as possible. By staying mentally, physically, and socially active, eating well, sleeping soundly, and seeking regular medical care, we can give ourselves the best chance to stay sharp and engaged in life well into our later years. It's not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. In conclusion, protecting your health as you age is about being proactive and intentional in how you care for your body and mind. Whether it's guarding against cardiovascular disease, maintaining strong respiratory health, preventing or managing diabetes, or keeping your mind sharp to stave off cognitive decline, the small choices we make every day can add up to a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. The stories I've shared today are reminders that it's never too late to make positive changes. Each of these conditions poses unique challenges, but by focusing on prevention, staying active, eating well, and engaging with life fully, we can take charge of our health and well-being, ensuring that the years ahead are vibrant and full of possibilities. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where your support means the world to us, and we look forward to bringing you more content that inspires growth, joy, and purpose. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.